the most common and most complicated of the export options, we're going to focus on the Word reports for this video. Report templates are made from document properties and content controls, and since document properties are the simplest, let's start with those. So you're going to use document properties for the values you want to define once in Dradis and then populate multiple times in the report. For example, like the client name, or the version number, the project title. In Dradis, they look like this. To add them to your Word report, you're going to open the properties and add a new custom property. We'll use the prefix Dradis for all of the custom properties. Also, make sure that the value that you use won't be flagged by the spell checker. So when in doubt, just try all caps. Then just add a field in the correct place in the Word report template and select the correct document property. Everything else, issues, evidence, content blocks, nodes, is created using content controls. To get started, make sure you have the Developer tab enabled in Word, then make sure that Design mode is turned on. Let's start with a content block. These live in the report content page of your Dradis project and are helpful for summary content and the sort of data that isn't an issue or a piece of evidence like appendices or an executive summary. To add the content block into your Word report, first add a description control. Then we're going to wrap it in a content block control filtered by type. Match the type value to the type value in Dradis to get things exporting where they need to go. Next, an issue. So here we have a sample issue that contains several fields. We'll start by creating a content control for each of the fields in the issue. First, the title, then we're going to use CVSS v3 base score, then description and solution. You'll notice that I didn't define the rating, and you'll see why in a minute. It's also important to note that these controls by themselves will actually not export any data out of Dradis just yet. We're going to have to wrap this in an issue control or another repeating control, otherwise a description field on its own. The reporting engine doesn't know what data to put there yet. Now we have to tell Dradis to export this section over and over for every critical issue in the project. And we do this by adding an issue control and then filtering it. In this case, we can filter by the CVSS base score and preset the rating to critical. So we'll do the same thing for all the other ratings. We'll just use another issue control with a different filter range. For example, for high, we would filter based on a CVSS score between 7 and 8.9. And I didn't forget about the evidence fields either. There's a special label control that doesn't require a Dradis field. It just pulls in the node label from the affected host in Dradis. So let's use that here. Then we'll use a location and an output field to round things out. Then all we need to do is wrap that whole section in an evidence control. This tells Dradis to repeat that section for each instance of evidence in the project. So once we're done here, we're going to want to create an issue.txt and an evidence.txt file that just contain the fields for the issues or the evidence. We'll use them later for configuration, and believe me, this will save you a lot of time in the long run. So you can also use a node control to export by affected host. This section I'm showing here would export a new heading and table for each node in your Dradis project. You can also export methodologies into your reports. These are Kanban boards in your Dradis project, and you can export by list or all of the tasks in the methodology into your report template. You can also create custom charts. Now for charts, you're going to have to create a custom macro to automatically update the chart with the data pulled from the Dradis project. There are several other cases where macros are going to help us with the post-export data processing, and that's something our support team can help you with if you run into any questions or issues. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive reporting course, but it's just designed to give you a quick overview of how the reporting engine works. If you ever have issues or questions about your team's custom report template or need help updating it, just reach out to our support team.